change. Okay, nothing stays the same forever. Even those that I'm getting that are in some really challenging situations in their lives, right? I'm not cold and callous and lacking in being cognizant of, where different ones are at in the different areas of their life, right? The problem really comes in when it comes to the world around us is that, when someone has never walked in your shoes and has never lived what you have lived and has never been where you've been, it's very challenging for them to understand your perspective and your point of view. And so as a result of that, people not living in a certain reality and living in a certain way than you, they felt that they were within their right to make hasty judgments, false judgments, erroneous judgments towards us, or even throw us extra shitty energy, right? Because their perspective, they felt like, was the only perspective that there was, and there was no other perspective outside of what they thought and what they felt of you, depending on where they caught you in time, right? So this season, the wisdom that's coming about for us as a collective, the wisdom is this. The only person that has walked with you throughout the span of your life and has a full scope, big picture understanding of the person that you are and the things that you've been through and why you are and why you've done the things you've done is truly you and the measure of the Ruach within you. Everyone else is coming to share the testament of your life in segments. 3 years here, 4 years here, 10 years there. You see? Not everybody knows it. They don't know what it's like, and I will say, just watching as a black woman watching, black culture collectively, I really had a chance to really reflect about this thing and really sit down and take a look at, things and allow the Holy Spirit to really deal with me when it comes to perspective and perceptions. I noticed that people who disagreed with certain things that happened at the Oscars, against the favor of Will, and people who came down with the harshest judgments on Will were people that they never knew what it was like. They don't know what it's like to be a black woman. They've never experienced the insanity due to lack of everything on every level, at every turn. And their judgments of him were the harshest. If we don't understand a thing, I think that, and I honestly believe and this is what I release into this sacred space, that there would be divine understanding of other people and other people's situations and circumstances, other people's situations and circumstances. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know what it's like, you don't know what it's like. You see? So right and wrong in certain contexts, right and wrong is relative, right? It's relative. If black women were you're talking about, we have long history in this country, about 400, 400, 500, 600 years plus worth of history with this country. And if we were notorious for, being held to any type of esteem or any type of regard, period, if we had the luxury of, generations worth of mom being able to reach out and touch her daughter, or, fathers being able to reach out and touch their sons and daughters, without, being hung, murdered, brutally beaten, and savagely done wrong, then I can understand there being, perspective from others, in regards to certain things. But the fact of the matter is, I've experienced some of those things firsthand, if not all, from every angle. Every angle. You see, now because I choose to alchemize, and this is one of the reasons why I give the lessons and the wisdom on alchemy. You know, the benefit and the value of learning how to alchemize, you know, negative situations, negative energetics, and turning them into something that can benefit you and work to your best advantage, right? I give you these lessons because some people, I seem to be getting this download energetically a lot. Some people think that, you know, I'm very harsh, or I'm very, you know, rude, you know, and that I'm not nice, you see, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Okay, see, but the reality is, I've lived in a lot of different arenas in this world, and I've experienced a lot of vicious fucking blows. Vicious. I know what it takes to survive, ultimately, at the end of the day. And I don't want to see you lost. So a lot of times you're drawn to me because you can hear the power in my sound. You can feel even the nourishment in my voice, even though I may say something that cuts to the quick. You may even detect the wisdom that is there, more than what I can even ever say, because the knowledge, the experience, the pain, the triumph, the wars, the worries, the joy, the anguish, it's all wrapped up and laced and locked in my sound. What am I doing? I'm raising levels of conscientiousness and awareness, right? It's locked into the sound of me. You don't have to ever wonder if I'm being real or not. You can go on my Facebook. All of my family's on my Facebook, Instagram, all across all social media platforms. You see? I live what I talk about. I sing about what I live. I sing it. I will sing out my truth. I will write out my truth. I will share my truth day in, day out. And I really hope that in me doing that, in me aligning with my own truth and sharing it with you all, that it gives you the courage and the inspiration to do the very same thing in whatever way in your life. But, you know, when it comes to coaching, we all have to determine what coaching is the best for us, right? You know, some people need coaching to be great cooks. Some people need coaching because they would like to be great boxers, right? Some people need coaching to be great mixed martial artists, right? Some people would like to be, like painters, and they need coaching in development in their craft and creativity in that way. Baby, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a spiritual athlete. Something like a mixed martial artist in the spirit. You see, I'm not a trainer of poodles or kittens or daisies or daffodils. That's not been my life. That's not been how I've been dealt with. And I can't give you a measure of mentality that I don't have. But there are people that are of a more gentle nature than myself. I train warriors and soldiers. I train people to develop mental might and inner fortitude. Right now is today. Today is my daughter's 6th birthday. Her 6th birthday. And I can't reach out and touch my baby. You see. So what did I do? I took the lessons of self-care that I've been teaching for so long, ever so faithfully. I went and I tended to myself real good. I got myself together, because it's not no sense of feeling bad and looking bad at the same damn time. I just don't see the sense in it, and it's not balanced. I have to offset that feeling with pleasant smells and pleasant feelings that I give myself of comfort. My daughter is all the way in Boston with her dad due to robbery. I was robbed. robbed. I don't train cupcakes. If I was of a weaker mind, I would not be here, because I got sick and almost died several times. If you want might and you want, the ability to forge ahead, if you want the will to do, even if there's opposition, if you want courage, if you're desiring stamina, endurance, day in, day out, it gets grueling, gets a little dark. If you desire someone who's not afraid of your darkness, I will take my little folding chair, lawn chair, right, pitch a tent and sit my ass in your darkness with you and help bring you out. Because not only have I been there, but I have the roadmap to higher levels and frequencies, which is evident. But if at the end of the day you think that that's not worth anything, again, I'm not the person for you. Don't waste your time with me. I will not waste my time with you. Nor will my feelings be hurt. You see. Because, see, when we come together, this has got to be a time of training. This has got to be a time of knowledge, wisdom, intellect that will benefit us. You see me working these principles. I will sing these principles. If you check my reels, Tiana Foot on Facebook, if you check my reels, you really will see that I am about what I sing that I'm about, what I promote, what I show, what I share. These principles, they've got to work for me, baby. There's no other options for me. I'm sold out in the belief. Some of us, we got to get sold out. We got to become sold out in our desire, in our belief in who we are. Who we are. You see? Do you realize that I have people who have known me for a substantial amount of time that will not click not one thing that I post. Not one accomplishment that I've ever achieved as a black woman by myself without fathers playing an active role financially or any other way. Baby, I'm made for it tough. And my knees don't bend. If you are desiring to really win and change the trajectory of your life, I am a person for you. If you are a person that is desiring to walk in truth and experience the power that truth can give you, I am your person. If you are a person who is brave enough to be vulnerable, to discover love in all of its might, I am the person for you. In real life, baby. In real life. I welcome you in. I invite you into my real life. And again, my medicine may not always taste sweet, but baby, I always produce results. Okay. And that's what it's about. Do you want the fluff, or do you want results? I'm about results. I have somewhere I need to get in a reasonable amount of time, and I will get there, and I will not be deterred or distracted by, emotions that are not going to benefit or produce real results for my life. Men come along, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm not distracted by men is because I don't have access to my youngest babies. My oldest ones have had a lot of time with me, but my youngest babies literally have not had any access to me. If you're not coming to me, being able to connect emotionally and understand with compassion where I'm coming from, why are we crying over people who do not care about our pain, about our wars? You're wanting readings and different spell work done on people who do not give a fuck about you at the end of the day. They don't. Prime example, once upon a time, a few years ago, whatever happened, and there was a particular relationship, a parental relationship in my life that was awarded $1.2 million for my ceiling falling on their head. And over the span of time, I kept this particular parent. I took care of this parent. I picked this parent up every time they fell. I welcomed them into my house. They never had to worry about anything. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Never had to worry about paying rent for room, board, or stay. I gave them anything they wanted. Only for at the end of the day to discover they did not care nor love me. Do you know how powerful of a deliverance that was when I realized that I was living in a state of delusion to figure out all by myself that everybody that I, poured my life, my heart, my soul, because I'm a very passionate person. If I'm doing something, I'm not going to do nothing halfway. I'm going to go all the way. And that's a message to somebody too. That, you're upset because you're getting half-ass results because you're putting half-ass effort into something. The moment you go all the way, you're going to see quantum triple results. But the half-ass energy is only going to get you half-ass results. And that's just that on that. But anyway, the people that were surrounding my life at the time where I lost everything in 2020, the devastation that I felt in my heart, realizing that they did not care about me or my children. To be okay with taking from me. To be okay. Some of you don't understand the laws of reciprocity. Not to save your lives. To be okay with the fact that my daughters have not held or felt my arms for such a long time. That's a level of cruelty that it's either going to break you or it's going to fortify you. It's going to strengthen you. It's going to create, thick ass skin. You see. And there was a certain point where I kind of felt like I was in an arena, right? I was in like a gladiator arena. And, all these great big giant men in real life, because it took every bit of like 9 fucking men to put me the fuck down. 9. That's impressive if you think about it. I didn't really get that until a few years later, after my gallbladder was removed. Okay. Half a lung later. People who were sitting there watching me spit up chunks of your lung. It looked like liver. You ever seen, liver? You ever seen that? Do you know what the experience of your lung going into a bag feels like? You know what it feels like? And, back to that spirit of robbery. Taking goods and products from people. And not realizing that you're affecting their children. You see? So that ties me into the protection and defense part of things, right? So over the course of time, what has happened is that, there's one of my ancestors that an ancient deity. I refer to them often, the Nepti. And I don't mean to be so emotional, you guys. You feel me? But the way they introduced themselves to me so slowly over time, I really felt like it was beautiful. Because I named my cat Denepti before, and it was like everybody kept asking, "Where'd you get that name? Where'd you get that name?" And I'm like, I don't know. It just felt right. It felt right when I got her. That's how I named her. Like it just came to me as I was petting her. And anyway, a year later, like just recently, a few months back, is when I discovered like Denepti was the name of the goddesses that ruled Upper and Lower Egypt, and Egypt spanned as far down as Ethiopia and as high up as to the river, you see, the Nile, which represents the spine, but I digress. But anyway, when I tapped in and really began to learn about the Nepti, that's why when I got to learn about them, I was like, wow. They were really my friends when no one else really was. Um, Tarot readers became my friend when no one else really was. You see? So I'm here as an oracle, as a reader. You see, I know what it feels like. I know the experience of feeling alone. But I also know the value of, not staying in that place and taking that place and allowing it to really mold you into a beautiful being of lessons learned, right? I stand before you. First of all, I'm still here. Several times I almost died. Not almost, but damn. It took 4 hours before a nurse or a doctor would come in to give me anything to thin out my blood when I had that blood clot, that pulmonary embolism that hit my lung in the first place. The doctor was like, hey, if that hits your brain or if it hits your heart, you're out of here. And I sat for 4 hours while a friend was sitting there like, oh, you're going to be okay. But if the Most High took my ghost at that moment, there would never be any of the expression of what you see of me in the earth right now. I didn't allow that particular issue or that particular moment in time to cause me to do anything but grow. I didn't allow it to feed me anything but passion, drive, the will to live. There are choices that you get to make at different milestones in your life. Instead of there's always two choices. Now, depending on what we have chose to practice for very long times, right? Whatever principles that we've chosen to practice for elongated periods of time, whether they were, faulty principles or goodly principles, doesn't matter. Whatever principle that you practice is what you default into during the time of testing. You see? When I was robbed, do you think, first of all, like, I think you guys know me well enough to know, do you think that I wouldn't be capable of revenge or vengeance? Do I strike you as the type? Curious. I want to know. But there's so much wisdom. And just because you can do a thing doesn't mean that you should. Just because I can doesn't mean I should, doesn't mean, I will. You feel me? That's between them and the Most High, because the secret is this. The same Holy Spirit that is in you is in them too. Because we all come from the same beingness of conscientiousness of one, even though we are all different aspects and dimensions of the all. So when I cry and you can't feel my pain, baby, that's between you and the Most High. If you feel that you can take from me in any shape, fashion, way, or form across any place, time, space, or dimension, that's between you and the Most High. In real life. But do understand that some people really do have, ancestors that will reach out and touch. Will become audible. You will know that what has happened to you is because of what you did to that specific person. This is what it is. This is real life, and the collective is coming online and noticing, there's more to life than just a 3D, right? This is about the energetics of it all. We're all, maybe it was the towers, that they put up. Maybe it was that's the reason. Maybe it's the planetary alignments that's the reason. But everybody is becoming more aware of the energetics of life. The denser ways of 3D relating, they're passing away. Literally passing away. You got to be able to adjust. You got to be flexible. You know, some of we need to confess, I am flexible. Some of our rigid thought forms and ideas, either because they were given to us by our parents or they were given to us by some religious sector, they're not working. And if something doesn't work, have the ability and the common sense and the ability to critically think and try a better way. Okay, and that's my collective message. How long was that there, you guys? I don't even know. Okay, so we're going to hop right on in. I still don't see any of the comments.